Welcome guys, Demo here at Perfect Gaming Guides, back with another 100% completion guide. This one is for Donut County, which has recently been added to Xbox Game Pass. It's a short story based puzzle game guys and has 20 achievements for a total 1000 Gamerscore. This guide will walk you through getting all of those achievements in around 1 hour and 20 minutes guys. Okay, let's get those achievements. So we start up the game guys, and initially we're just going to go straight in. There's a duck icon and we're just going to smash that 100 times and that's going to get us an achievement. It's going to take maybe a minute or two to grab that guys. We need to wait on our friend the raccoon replying back to us before we can keep smashing at it, so just keep working away at that guys. So once you've hit that 100 times guys, you're going to get the Quack Enthusiast achievement pop up. So quacking 100 times is going to get us that achievement. Once we do that, we can just start hitting the reply button guys and just going through the dialogue. When we get to the end of the dialogue, we're going to get the X button up at the top there guys, we can hit that. Then we're going to grab the donut and drag it across to open up the blinds here and click on the window to go outside. And the premise of the game is we've got this hole here guys, and we basically are going to swallow everything up. So as we start to swallow things, the hole starts to get a bit bigger each time we swallow an item, and we can start swallowing bigger and bigger items as we go along. Some rounds have got a sort of final item that ends the round guys, so this one it's actually the bike, so we're going to leave it to the very last and we can just swallow that up, and that is going to finish off our first level. So into the donut shop here guys, and we're going to get a bit of a cutscene here and some more text messaging back and forth. This is the raccoon that's best friends with our main character. At the end of that again guys, just hit the X button when it's finished. So 6 weeks later in the story, we're sort of down in an underworld sort of area here, and the story is starting to unravel. So between levels guys, we're going to transport back down into this, and there's going to be like a kind of cutscene like this with some text that we're just going to kind of mash through. I'm doing it at a pace where you should be able to keep up and also follow along with what's actually happening in the story as well, rather than just totally mashing through and missing the whole storyline. So we're here at Potter's Rock here, guys, and we are going to start off by picking up all of the smaller items, and that's the general theme of the game, guys. You start off with all the smaller items first, and gradually, just as we do that, the hole starts to increase in size, and obviously we can start to pick up the larger items because of that. As we clear each screen here, it kind of zones out on the sort of bigger scene, and we sort of move across into like this sort of second stage of each area as it's just done there, and we can then start picking up the other items in the background there. So we're going to pick up all the items in the foreground until we can get through the gate. And again, we're just going to start picking up the smaller items. Sometimes the items will get kind of thrown around a bit like that, guys, if they're a bit too big to fit in a hole or you don't just quite line them up properly. So last item there is going to be the table, as it's the biggest, and that's going to let us into this sort of third area here. So we're going to learn a new sort of feature of the game here. We're going to pick up the items in the background there, then we're going to pick up the furnace there. We're going to hold it underneath the balloon. This happens a few times in the game, guys, where we pick up fire or like a furnace or whatever. So by doing that, up pops our Pup's Odyssey achievement, guys, for releasing the pup in his balloon. Now going to work around the map, picking up the rest of the items, clearing away these rocks. And the last item that we're going to get here is that bunker shaped building in the middle there. Once that drops in, that's going to drop us into this area here. And we're going to get this each time that we finish a level, guys, and you've got that Trashopedia there. We can just ignore that for now. We're going to visit that at the very end of the game, as there's an achievement related to that for picking up all the items in each of the levels. There is a chapter select if you do happen to miss anything, guys, so don't worry too much about that. Safest option is just collect absolutely everything on the map, and then you can guarantee that you haven't missed anything. So on to the next level now, guys, the ranger station. So on this one, guys, there's a bunch of snakes, and if you go underneath them, they jump up in the air. So best thing to do is gather in the other stuff first, just to increase the size of the hole, and then it makes it so much easier just to capture the snakes. So we're just going to grab all the grass, the cactus and the rocks. Then once the hole gets a bit bigger, we can easily swallow up the snakes as well. So we're just going to clear this up now, guys. So once we finish off clearing this first area here, guys, we're going to move across to the left, and you can see in the background there is a gauge that says snake danger on it. We're going to gather in a few items until the hole is big enough that we can swallow up the cage with the snake in it. And you can see the snake's tail is now popping out of the hole, guys. We can use that basically to whack things. So we're going to move over to this sign here, and we're going to rotate it clockwise until you can see it's unscrewing itself and it's going to collapse down and knock down the chicken. That's going to increase the snake danger, and we need to just keep doing that with the 3 chickens. So we'll go over to the left and we're going to whack this button here. It sounds a buzzer, that's going to scare the next chicken down. And the snake danger is going to increase again. Then we'll head over to the swing and we're just going to give that a whack to try and knock the bird off. That increases the danger again, and it's going to cause this building to explode. We can now just proceed to gather in all of the items, guys, and the last thing that we're going to collect is the actual tower where the ranger was standing. So turns out that it's a raccoon that's actually opening up all these holes and swallowing everything up. Now we're on to the riverbed level, guys. We're going to start off by capturing some of the small rocks and the small fish. Then we can get the larger fish and the dog. And I've missed a piece of grass up the top of the screen there, so we'll grab that so we can move to the next section. This section has water, guys, and when the hole fills up with water we can't capture anything, it basically spits it back out. So we grab the water and we take it over to this bird, and the bird is going to drink the water. We do need to actually clear the water as well, so we're just going to go back and forth. It's better to get the hole as big as possible before we gather in the water. Obviously that means that we've got less trips to the bird. And the bird is actually going to be the very last thing that we capture in this map as well, guys. So as I said earlier, the Trashopedia is basically a list of all the items that you can collect on each of the stages, guys, and you do need to collect one of everything to get an achievement at the very end of the game, but we're not going to bother checking that until we actually get to the end of the game. Safest option is just collect absolutely everything on the map, and then you can guarantee that you haven't missed anything. So our next area is called Campground, guys, and we're going to start off by picking up the little rocks and the cans that are around the fire there. Once the hole is big enough, we can move over and pick up these crates. That's going to make the corn drop and we can pick that up. Then if we pick up the fire, that's going to cause the reaction on the corn and it's going to turn into popcorn and start spitting it out of the hole and attract these birds. So we're just going to grab the whole lot of that. Once we've cleared that, it's going to pan back on the camera and then we're going to get the coyote or fox, whatever it is, and then clear the rest of the map. So I'm sure you figured it out by now, guys, but each of these bits that's happening here is just like each person, each individual story, how they ended up down underground, and then we end up shooting back up to the surface and actually playing out the scene where they end up falling down underground. So Hopper Springs now, and this one we're going to start by getting the carrots and the little cobblestones there, little stepping stones. The camera pans out, we're going to grab the rest of the stones. This little pot here behind the enclosure. Then the rest of the stepping stones and the grass. And once the hole is big enough, we've got all the rest of the stuff, we can move on and get this large carrot here, guys. Then we're going to take it and drag it underneath where the rabbit's standing, up above on that rock there. That's going to entice it down. Then we'll make our way around to the back of the pen where the blue rabbit is, and we're going to hold at this area here, and it's going to start making its way out through the gate and up the slope to freedom. Then we're going to swallow up the two rabbits, and rabbits are going to do what rabbits do, and they're going to multiply, and that's going to make our hole get a lot bigger, and then we can start eating up the rest of the things on the map here. So we can see there's more rabbits up on the stones there as well, guys, so we're going to clear everything. And then we're going to head over to the stones over on the left. The one on the right is still a bit too big for me to eat that up, so we're going to get the one on the left, just knock the rabbits down. Then we can swallow up the rabbits, and again they're going to breed and make the hole bigger again. Swallow up the rest of the rocks, and now we can get those other rabbits down and do the same again. Swallow them up, and that's going to increase our size again. So just finish up now guys, just by eating up everything that's left on the map so that we can move on to the next one. So Joshua tree this time guys. An achievement in this one. So first of all we're going to get all the small rocks just to increase the size of the hole, and you'll see that the bird on the barbecue there is throwing what looks like pieces of coal or firelighters or something down. We're going to clear everything that we possibly can here. Then we're going to grab the fire and start picking up these coals, and we're going to head over to the caravan and set fire to it. That's going to get us the Pyro Achievement. Then we just keep going back and forth picking up coal, and as soon as we start burning, we can start burning away at these trees here, and the flowers on the trees start falling off guys. We're going to do that to all of the trees so that they drop each of the flowers. And once we've got all of those in flames, we can start picking up all the items and all of the flowers. Once the hole is big enough, we'll be able to get the picnic table and the caravan as well. And at this point I'm kind of going, what have I not done here? But I've actually got a flower that is behind one of the trees that's on fire, and I just can't see it. You'll see me picking it up in a second or two here. Thinking, have I not set something on fire enough or something? But it just turns out that there's actually a flower on the ground. That's me picked it up. So camera pans out and we can now start picking up the rocks and the truck. The last thing that we're going to pick up is the actual bird on the barbecue guys. So we'll get all the rocks and the truck here, then we can get the trees, and then finally the barbecue with the crow on it. If you find the video useful guys, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that like button, and if you'd subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing guys. I would hugely appreciate that. So beach lot C this one's called, guys. So again, going to start off by just picking up the smaller items. We can pick up the water here and don't need to bother about not being able to pick up other things because it's full of water. So we're going to leave that firework for now, guys, until we've picked up everything else. Then we go underneath the building. That means it's going to light up the firework, and then we're going to take it over and go underneath these birds here. That's going to shoot the firework up into the air and scare the birds. Bring them down and then we can pick them up. Next we're going to go underneath the firework shop again until it lights the firework. Then we're going to pick the firework up and go underneath the shadow of this overhang above us here. We're going to do the same thing 3 times, so back underneath the shop until it lights the firework, pick up the firework and then go underneath the shadow of the overhang. And that's going to knock the guy down, and you'll see that he had corn with him again, so we're going to pick up that corn, and because we have the fire we're going to see popcorn shooting out of the hole again here. Gather all that stuff up until we get to a size big enough where we can actually eat the shop and the car in the middle. Job done. So Gecko Park, guys, we're actually going to have to revisit this one at the end of the game, as there is an achievement for completing this one without picking up the radio, but we do need to pick up the radio to get the achievement for gathering in all of the items throughout the game. So we're going to gather in all the items this time, and we will come back and get that final achievement at the very end. We're just going to mash through the reply here, guys. So once that's finished, we can just press the X. And we can see there are little geckos hidden in the background here, guys, and we're going to obviously go for the smaller ones first. There's sort of 3 different sizes, and one of the sort of big sizes, one of them is actually bigger than the rest, so you need to kind of get it last. But anyway, we're going to work our way around getting the sort of small and medium sized ones first, and all the grass. That one over on the right there that I couldn't pick up, I think that's the kind of biggest one of them all. So just persevere there, just kind of get underneath them and let them kind of spin round and move slightly, and they will eventually fall down the hole. That allows us into this second area here, and as I said, there is an achievement for avoiding picking up that radio that's playing the music that we can hear just now. But on this playthrough we are actually going to pick up everything, as there is another achievement for actually picking up everything. So just go around picking everything up that we can here. And the top of the palm tree is a little bit too big, so we're just going to move on. And just go over and get the crock instead. So as it pans out, we can get the dustbins over on the right hand side there, and that's going to make the hole big enough that we can get those other items that were too big previously. We can get all this stuff here and get rid of the radio as well, and now the main building as well. So as I said, we will come back to that one through chapter select, guys, just to quickly mop up that final achievement. That's the only achievement that you don't get on the first playthrough of the game. So this one is the chicken barn, guys. Another couple of achievements on this one. So we start off by picking up, as usual, the smaller stuff, guys, like the bricks and the grass, these small blocks here. Then we can turn over the box with the chicken in it, just to get the stuff that's on top of it. Then we can go for the little scooter there and get the guy that's on there. And finally we can pick up the box with the chicken in it. So we're going to get a new function here, guys, where we can actually shoot things back out of the hole after this little cutscene here and the text messaging. So press X on that and we're going to get into the store here, guys. So we're going to get an achievement. We're going to buy the catapult first. And then we're going to buy the energy drink. And we are going to get the gamer achievement for buying that, guys. So you'll notice that the hole now has something inside it, guys, and it's the catapult that we've just bought, so we can fire stuff back out of it. So we want to fire the chicken out of it and then move out the way so that the cage that it's in smashes on the ground. Then we're going to gather everything in, including the chicken, and it's going to pan round to the other side of the barn here. And we want to go underneath that patch there. Fire the chicken up, pressing the A button, and then quickly move round to the button at the right hand side there. That's going to open up the chicken coop up the top, and the chicken is going to go in there. We're going to move round to the other side and it's going to start firing eggs out, guys, so we want to catch one of those eggs and move underneath the switch there on the door. We fire that egg up, that activates the switch, and then all the eggs are just going to start firing out continuously. We want to let the eggs hit the ground. We need to let, I think it's 36 eggs hit the ground there. Just keep going and then the achievement will pop, guys. There it goes. So egg breaker. Once the egg breaker achievement pops up, guys, we can actually go underneath and start catching those eggs. And they're just going to keep going until we have enough to make the hole big enough to pick up that item that's in the background there, the sort of circular kettle shaped thing. Once the camera pans back, we can now gather all the rest of the stuff that's in the foreground here, and then that barn up at the top left, and finally the large barn in the middle. These videos take quite a long time to make, guys, so if you would help support the channel by subscribing, I would hugely appreciate it. So into Honey Nut Forest this time, guys, and you can see there's loads of beehives and frog up on that log up there. So we're going to gather in again as usual all the small items. And eventually, once the hole is big enough, guys, we are going to pick up that honeycomb that's sitting just beside the hive there. I'm going to use the honeycomb and shoot it up beside the frog there on the log, and he is going to grab that and fall down. That means that we can now fire the frog up into the air, and we're going to use him to pull down all of those beehives that are up in the background there. So to do that, guys, we're just going to go under the shadow of them and then press your A button, and that's going to take the hive out. Then we need to go under the bee and do the same thing. Once we have all those, the last thing that we're going to pick up is this large tree trunk here. So over to the right here, we're going to pick up all the items, the scooter, the beehives, etc., and leave the sort of barn over at the right. That's the last item that we're going to pick up. Then we move to the left, and we're going to use our frog again, using the A button underneath each of these bees and gather them in. And then finally, we're going to do the same and grab this guy who is swinging from the tree. Now that our frog is heavy enough, we can pull him down, then we can get the barn and end the level. So next one is called Cat Soup, guys, and again another achievement in this one, in the second part of it. So this first part here, we're just going to gather in all of the small items first. And we do need to collect the water as well, guys, but the hole needs to be big enough to actually pick that up, so we will come back for that bit. Up to the sort of background area there, and we're going to gather in all the items up there. Now that the hole's big enough, we can actually take the cages with the cockroaches, and then we can grab this water and the grass up the back there. We're now going to go inside the restaurant, and there is an achievement here, guys. So we're going to pick up these cans first, then head over to the right and pull on this cord here. That's going to pour the soup into the pot. We're going to fill up with soup, and then you can see the carousel there that's got pepper and salt going round. You need to go in 3 times to get pepper and twice to get salt. As we do that, each time we do it, we can see another cockroach appears, so that gives you a clue as to how many ingredients that you've actually added. So if you've got 3 cockroaches, you've got 3 ingredients. You do need to avoid going anywhere near the bird, because if it drinks the soup beforehand, before you're finished, you will just exit out and you're going to have to restart the level if that happens. So 4 now, I just need to add 1 more, and if we've done this right, guys, you've got the recipe right, it will turn that colour, it's a sort of dark orange, and head over towards the bird. If you've done it successfully, the secret soup achievement will pop up, and we can just progress on picking up the rest of the stuff outside here. So final thing that we're going to get is the high rises here, or tower blocks. So we're moving to the donut shop here, guys, and there's a little cutscene. Starts off with the quadcopter here. So Mira and the raccoon are going to have a little conversation here.
Are you jealous?
So if you followed the story along, guys, basically Mira has smashed up the drone because basically the raccoon has caused all this mayhem, and she's basically teaching him a lesson by doing the same thing to his stuff. So we're now going to gather in the bricks here first of all, and then the smashed up parts of the drone. Then we can move over and start getting these cactus, or whatever they are, and the bricks and the dumpster over there. Once the hole is big enough, we can get the palm tree as well. It's just going to drop in, and then we can get all those paving slabs and the car. Then when the camera pans back, guys, go around the back and get the sort of things that are at the back of the building that we can't actually see, and that makes it a little bit easier for when we're actually trying to swallow up the building. And the last thing we're going to get is the donut on the top. That's going to get us the Donut County achievement, guys. So this one's a bit of a pain actually because it's in the dark, the abandoned house. So hopefully you can see what's kind of going on here, but basically what we've got is we've got 3 candles. I've turned the brightness up a little bit. We've got 3 candles. If you swallow the 3 of those up, swallow up some other items as well, but if you swallow up the 3 candles, the fridge door will open slightly and that gives a bit of light, and you can see there's a torch just to the left of the fridge. If we swallow that up, then we've got a permanent light source and we can sort of see what's going on after that. There is a cat that is wearing a mask in this one, guys, and it kind of pops up in different places. So generally it's over at the right hand side, but I have played this on a couple of playthroughs and it has showed up in different places. So gradually and slowly work your way through, picking up as much as you can. If you do encounter the cat, there it is there with the red mask on there. If you do encounter it and it sort of catches you, if you like, it's going to put your light out and you need to go back to the fridge. And I will show that happening because it does happen at almost at the very end here. You just need to make your way back over to the fridge and you'll see a battery lying beside the fridge. You just need to pick that up and that's going to switch your light back on for you and you can just keep going. So make our way around, picking up everything that we possibly can, and it's just here. Yep, cat got me and you can see my light's gone out, so head back over to the fridge, see the battery on the ground there. We're just going to pick that back up and that's going to light us up again. Now that this sort of switch toggle here has dropped down, you can actually go underneath that and interact with it. That's going to put a ray of light in and scare the cat. It's going to jump up, switch the light on, and then we can swallow it up. Grab the fridge and then we can grab this table and all the items sitting on it, and then we can get the safe as well. That's going to cause a guy to drop down and we can get him to finish the level. So outside we can just gather up everything that's out in the yard here, and then finally get the building to drop in, and that's us done with that one. So little cutscene kicks in here, guys, and we are about to start Raccoon Lagoon. So as before, we're going to go for all those small items like the bricks and the little bits of mud and cans and that sort of thing. The last thing pretty much that we're going to go for here is the fish bowl that's over on the stool next to what looks like a bubblegum machine, but it's actually water balloons that's inside it. Once we've cleared that, we can swallow up the water balloon. and that's going to give us our catapult that we can fire it out. Just move out the way of it and let it splat onto the ground. It's going to fill up with water and a fish is going to jump out. Go underneath the water wheel and we're going to fire that up. That's going to move the guy further up the track there. We're going to use the fish to fire at the machine, and that's going to drop another ball out of it. Then we'll pick up the ball, fire it up into the air, let it splat, turn into water, and then pick the water up, rinse and repeat, and just basically keep doing that. Take the fish, fire it at the machine so that a ball drops out, pick the ball up, fire the ball up into the air and let it splat. Another ball as well, so we'll just do the same with that. Then we'll grab the water and fire it into the water wheel, and the guy's going to start heading down the chute. Now there's a bit of the chute missing there, as you can see, and again we're just going to grab the water, go underneath that dropped part of the chute and fire it up, and that's going to let him continue on his journey. Head underneath and we can just grab him. If you need to grab the cones first to make the hole a bit bigger to make that easier, that's fine. So we need to now grab the machine itself, guys, and as soon as we do that it sort of bursts the pipe here and we fill up with water, so you need to expel the water so that we can actually swallow up the machine. I had a bit of trouble with this one, so I had to kind of move it to get it to fall down. Kept accidentally filling up with water, so I just tried to move it out of the way to get away from the water so that stopped happening, and that helped. So once we've cleared that, camera pans back and we'll get access to the Ferris wheel. So we're going to clear everything along the left hand side here, including the tent. Once we've done that, we'll head over and we're going to fill up with water. Then we'll head back to the Ferris wheel to the left hand side of it, and we're just going to push that water into the Ferris wheel, back and grab some more water, do it again. One of my playthroughs, I think I had to do this 3 times actually, guys, but it happened after 2 on this occasion. That's going to knock down the tower and give us the Flume Achievement, and then we just need to clear away all of the debris of that knocked down castle. So the last thing that you're going to get is the bit with the water slide, guys. That's the biggest part, so try and clear everything else first. I actually had that piece sort of fell out of the map that I couldn't actually grab it, but it didn't make any difference. I was still able to complete the map. So next one is the 405. So we're going to start off by picking up the small things, the rock, the paper. Then we need to get this car to crash into the car either at the front of it or at the back of it, guys, just to make the coffee cup fall off. Then if you go to the back of the car, that's going to drop in slightly, and then you just need to move slightly to the left and eventually it will tip in, and that's going to let us into the next area. You can just start picking up all the small items as usual here. And the last thing that we're going to pick up is going to be that picnic table, guys, so get everything else first. the raccoon that's hammering away at the truck there that's jacked up, we're going to grab him, and a whole load of donuts are going to fall out the back of the truck. So grab all of those, and then we should be big enough to get our picnic table. So next bit, we've got 3 raccoons that are all sort of on quadcopters, guys, and the one in the middle actually has a camera. We're going to go underneath him, throw the donut up to him, and he's going to drop the camera because of that. Pick up the camera, then we'll go back under each one of them and throw the camera up to them. It's going to flash and basically cause them to fall out the sky, crash, and then we can pick them up. So to make sure that you're hitting them, you just need to obviously go right underneath where our shadow is, guys. Once we've picked them all up, we need to actually get rid of the camera for a second here, so we're just going to discard that and let it drop to the ground. Then we'll go underneath our balloon here and throw our 3 raccoons up to put some extra weight onto it. Then we'll move back over and grab our camera again. This sort of boss guy raccoon's going to come out. He's got a grapple hook. Once he comes down low like this, we're going to fire the camera up at him. We need to do that, I think, 2, maybe 3 times when he's down low, and eventually that's going to cause him to crash as well, and we can just grab all of his items as well. Once we've grabbed and cleared everything, we just go underneath the balloon and fire him up as well. That's going to make it too heavy for it to be able to float anymore, and it's going to drop into the hole, and then we can clear the roadblock and let all the cars fall into the hole. So the raccoon's going to start sending text messages to the Trash King, and I'm just going to hit a reply button here, guys, to get through this conversation here. Once the X comes up, we can exit out of that. So once we get control again, guys, we're going to eat up the smaller items first, which is the brick and the hammer, then the briefcase, finally the other items. Camera's going to pan back out and we're going to get some more dialogue here. It's going to drop down the hacking device, guys. We're going to pick that up and go underneath the camera here and then press A to shoot it up into the camera. It's going to hack into the system and up pops our hacker achievement. So we're in Raccoon HQ here, guys, and we've just got two items to pick up here, the toilet roll and the coffee cup. Then we can head through this little gap here. Then we can head up towards that door that says main hall. And in the main hall we're going to collect these items that are lying around, paper, plant pot, battery, etc. And then we're going to move into the security room. Now you notice that there's a locked door there, guys, like a safe. We're going to pick up all the items here and we're going to open that door later on. Go underneath the shelf there, guys, and we're going to fire up into that and it's going to knock all the stuff down. You can see there's a red security pass there. We're going to grab that. Head back out the security room, back into the labs. And now that we have that red security pass, we're going to go underneath the security card reader and press our A button, and that's going to let us in there. So in the biology lab, guys, more achievements in here. So we'll start by eating up all the small items as usual. And the last thing that we're going to get is going to be that snake in the middle. Grab the raccoons, get the snake, and as before we get the tail coming up. So to open the safe door in the security room that we were in earlier, guys, we need to hit these buttons in a particular order. So the sequence is up, left, down, left, and then hit the grab button. And if you don't do it correctly, it won't go to the cutscene. So I didn't do it correctly the first time. I think I hit one of them twice. So it's up, left, down, left, then hit grab. If you get this cutscene, you know you've done it right, and you can see that that door is now opened in that security room that we were just in a moment ago. So once we've done that, we can then progress by just moving along and continuing on with the actual story and picking up these items here. So we'll get the chicken or duck, whatever it is. Then we'll move down to the position here, grab this other cage. Then a third door is going to open with a frog in it, so we're going to move across to that and grab it. So we'll just grab everything, grab the two cages with the other things in them, and then we'll get the frog last, guys. Once we've got the frog, we're going to use him to jump up and catch all of these flies. And we need to get them as heavy as possible here, so there's 4 flies. We need to get them as heavy as possible so that you can open that cage with the rabbits above. Once we've got the 4 of them, we go under this sort of green button here, and the frog's going to grab onto that. Sometimes that takes 2 attempts, guys, so you might need to try it twice. Rabbits drop down and then we eat them up, and they're going to do what rabbits do. So in Raccoon HQ again here, guys, and we're just going to pick up all the rabbits that's out in this corridor here. Once we've done that, we're going to head into the main hall again, guys, and you'll see this rabbit with the blue security pass this time. We're going to go into the security area and pick up the rest of these rabbits here, and then you'll see that door that we managed to open. We're going to go in there and we're going to pick up the Bandit Achievement, guys. Just move into the room and we're going to pick up everything that's in there. And then head out and back under the door and back through to the labs. Underneath the blue card reader this time, guys, and we're going to press our A button to access that door. So anthropology lab this time, guys. So usual stuff, pick up all the small stuff until the hole is big enough that we can actually pick up the raccoons. Last thing that we're going to pick up is the bucket that's on fire in the middle. So now that that's on fire, guys, we can pick up the firework on the right hand side, take it over to the left where the raccoon screen is. It's going to fire that up there. That's going to get us our Disrespecter achievement. Then we move over to the right, pick up another firework and take it to this right hand side panel here, and that's going to progress us onto the next stage. So now that we're filled up with water, guys, we want to take the water over to the left hand side to close the circuit here, and that's going to cause the rotunda thing to spin round. Make sure that the bird clears the water out the hole for us. And as it gets back to the firework, it's going to drop another firework for us and it's going to stop. So we need to pick up some more water. Make the turntable move again by going over to the electricity on the left hand side. Get the bird to drink the water out the hole. Then we need to go round to the right hand side of the firework, making sure we don't pick it up. And that lever there is going to make sure that the firework gets lit. Grab the firework and then head over to this panel that we destroyed earlier on the right hand side. And once the firework shoots up into there, we get to progress to the next stage. So we just need to move kind of up to the top of the screen here, guys, and we're going to go back through into the main hall. And a cutscene is going to kick in, opening these doors ahead of us, so we're just going to follow through into those doors. So we're at the Trash King's office here, and as we move along we're going to see donuts are going to get lit up on our path, basically enticing us along this path. I'm going to pick up all of those until we get our next cutscene. So the trash can is basically trying to persuade BK to switch sides and betray his friends here. Meanwhile, Mira and Possum are outside and we are about to be attacked. So this quadcopter here, guys, is basically our boss battle. So first of all, we're actually going to let it defeat us, guys, because there is an achievement for basically getting beat. So we'll let it fill us up with concrete here first. It's then going to start dropping these mines, guys, so don't let the mines destroy the concrete. This doesn't damage you, all it does is it basically stops you picking up the mines. If it breaks the concrete, it basically just keeps firing the concrete back at you. It just takes a lot longer. This is the section where it actually does damage to you. So I think it's 5 times that it needs to hit us before it actually kills us. So nearly there. And there we go, defeated, game over. Game over, achievement pops, guys, for losing that boss fight. So we just need to go through this dialogue here and then we can retry. So there is actually an achievement for completing the boss fight without taking any hits at all, guys, and it is actually a lot easier than that sounds. So boss fight starts again, and this time we're going to make sure that we don't actually get hit at all. So first of all, we're just going to keep circling round about the perimeter, guys, to make sure that that crosshair doesn't actually touch us when it's firing the cement at us. Then when it starts dropping these mines, we make sure that we pick up the small one, just get underneath it and fire it back at it. We need to do that 3 times. So the second stage of this, it's going to start randomly picking, so the layout of this can be different each time it's ran, guys. You just basically want to find a route that you can just keep circling round and it's just never going to hit you. Again, it's going to drop the mines, we need to pick up the small one. Then quickly go underneath the quadcopter and fire it back up at it. And again, it's going to do a sort of different pattern again here with these blocks, and it is random, as I said. So you just try and go on a route that's allowing you to go in a kind of circular motion if possible. And once we've avoided that concrete getting fired at us again, it's a case of wait till it fires out the small mine, get underneath it and throw it back at it. And that's that phase of the battle over. So at this stage we're kind of thinking that BK has sold us out and the quadcopter has come back and it's got bazookas attached, so kind of looks like we're in a bit of trouble here. But this bit's actually quite easy, guys. So there he is, BK to the rescue. He's actually got the hacking device. So as soon as we get control back, guys, we're just going to move over and scoop him up. Then we're going to go under the quadcopter and fire him up at the copter so he can plug in the hacking device. That's going to kind of disable it. It's going to fire out all these mines, and we're just going to pick each one of them up and fire it straight back at it. There's 6 of them. Just quickly grab each one, get underneath it and fire it straight back at it. And there's that final one up close to the building there. And that is actually going to destroy it this time. So we get our achievement pops up, flawless, for doing that without getting any hits at all, guys. If you get any hits, just basically stop and restart the level. We're now going to scoop up all of the different parts here that's blown up of the quadcopter. Then we're going to move towards that statue, guys, and we're going to destroy the statue for another achievement. There we go, up it pops, Dethroner, and then we're going to move over to the building itself and smash up all of the front of it first. Get all that area until the camera pans round to the back there, and then we're going to destroy the back of it. And up pops our boss fight achievement, guys. If you found the video useful, guys, I would really appreciate if you would hit the like button, and if you'd subscribe to the channel, that would be much appreciated as well, guys. Only got a few minutes to go now, guys. A few achievements to grab and we are done. So at this bit here, it's just going to close off the story. Everybody's going to get fired back to the surface here. And finally, once we fire ourselves back up to the surface, guys, up pops Redeemed Achievement. So now we're actually flying this drone, guys, and you use our left and right sticks. Basically, right stick is up and down, left stick is your direction. We want to fly through the hole in the donut, and that's going to get us another achievement called Pilot. Take a left and you'll see this anchor on a chain hanging from the sky there. So we basically want to fly over towards that chain and then just follow it up into the sky. So using our right stick to go up the way. Once we get high enough, we're going to see the Trash King trying to escape on an airship here. We just need to hover over towards it and our achievement Escape is going to pop up. Once that's popped up, guys, we can just press our X button, that power button there, and select yes to done flying. And that's going to give us our credits basically rolling, guys, and to speed that up a bit you can just press and hold your A button and that's going to just blitz through them. Hopefully you found that useful, guys. As I said before, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, please. So the Trashopedia, guys, we're going to select yes to that this time, and if we use the double right arrow button and just basically click through that for each level, that's going to skip to the start of each level there. If you do that sort of 10 times or whatever it is to get to the very end where the key is, we are going to get the Nerd Achievement. So up it pops, and we can just hit back out of there, guys. So we've only got one achievement still to get, guys, and it was that one for that radio that we needed to leave on the level. So we're going to select levels, then we're going to use the arrow button and we're going to go to the right until we reach the Gecko Park. Then we'll select play. And you need to do the full level again, guys, but only takes maybe a minute or a minute and a half or so to do this. So blast through our text messages here. So for us to get this achievement, guys, just as a reminder, we need to basically gather in everything on the level apart from the radio that's playing the music that's sitting on the crate there. So we're going to avoid picking that up and make sure we pick up everything else. But first stage here, back to the little geckos here, we need to pick them up again. good idea to try and move the radio off of the crate, guys, when the hole is quite small, just in case you accidentally pick it up at the same time. Kind of knock it off the crate. Then we can just start picking up everything else. If you do accidentally pick it up, guys, obviously you can just restart the level. That is our final achievement, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video and you found it useful. Up top's our achievement, Music Lover. If you haven't done so already, guys, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video. Feel free to check out my other videos on the channel, guys. Thanks for watching and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.